is where creations begin. But your choices make this journey a win. We can create whatever we like, add a change when inspiration strikes. It's a world of opportunity. We're building together, you and me. Welcome to the artful audience, friend. A place where imagination knows no end. The digital canvas is where creations begin. But your choices make this journey a win. So let's get started. Come join the show. Your choices determine where we go. It won't be the same without you here. We're creating boldly and without fear. Welcome to the artful audience, friend. A place where imagination knows no end. The digital canvas is where creations begin. But your choices make this journey a win. So come on in. Come on in. Woke up with my head under pressure so high, hiding moonlight, hiding behind my tired eyes. Coffee's cold, the silence loud. I want my pain like a winter shroud. Some days I feel like I can't fly. Other days I feel so fragile. In shadow today I felt like shine. So I choose someone who could fly. Every mirror cracked a little more. Every step heavier than. Writer's block is my enemy, keeping me from my destiny. Lord, won't you hear my plea? Help me reach the end of the story. Staring at the monitor for ages, waging war against blank pages. Writer's block coming in stages, keeping my stories locked in cages. Fantastic world stored in my mind, character voices to be defined. But writer's block keeps me blind, a way forward I can't seem to find. Writer's block is my enemy, keeping me from my destiny. Lord, won't you hear my plea? Help me reach the end of the story. This is my writing reality, battling to set my mind free of fears that won't let me be, so I can deliver my story. Inspiration strikes, I needed to begin. Get to chapter 5, put down my pen. Writer's block's got me again. No, I can never seem to win. Our time's a virtual ghost town, victims of this endless showdown between this villain of literary renown, and I'm so tired of being its clown. I'm praying on my knees, Lord, won't you hear my pleas? Help me get past the tyrannies, stealing my creative energies. Writer's block is
right, time to get started in the writing. I'm going to pop for a moment on the webcam for Maya because she asked. There we go. You have now seen the face behind the writing, and I thank you for being here. I love you guys. You are amazing, and every time we work together, I appreciate the work we do. I wanted to take the time to read through something Cal worked on for us. He has taken the time to develop a backstory for DeVries. Now, DeVries has never been the greatest guy in the history of ever, but, you know, when you start to understand who a person is by understanding where they came from, a lot of their behavior starts to make more sense. So, DeVries. DeVries staggered from the now smoldering car, still disoriented from the crash. He felt the wetness on his forehead and sighed in relief when he saw sweat and not blood. The adrenaline release made him a little weak-kneed, so he stopped moving to keep from tumbling over. He drew a few deep breaths and an old memory flashed. As a kid growing up, he soon figured out he was the odd one out. In social situations at school, he was awkward and shunned almost immediately. He ended up occupying his time with comic books and inventing adventures at the nearby abandoned lot, where there were all kinds of broken appliances, car tires, and wood. One afternoon after school, he headed there with a well-worn Spider-Man comic he was going to reread. He entered the lot, his nose already buried in the comic, when he felt something was wrong. He lowered the book to find himself surrounded by 4 school bullies, each one a head taller than he was. "What you got there?" The biggest and nasty one, he knew was Ty, snatched it out of his hands, tearing it. "Ooh, Spider-Man!" Ty's voice was sarcastic. DeVries knew this was only the beginning. He squeaked out, "You can have it if you want it." There was a pause of a few seconds before all 4 laughed, and the hairs on DeVries' neck stood on end. He didn't stand a chance when the fists and kicks from all directions started landing, and he curled up into a ball. The punches stopped, but the kicking grew more furious, and he passed out. The next thing he knew he opened his eyes to darkness. Muffled voices were all talking at the same time. He made out a snippet. "Too far, Ty. That little shit will tell on us, and we'll end up in juvie." Ty's voice rose above the others. "Not if no one finds him. Come on, let's tip this freezer over so we can't get out." There was another short pause, and DeVries tumbled inside his prison, smashing his right knee. He bit his lip, trying not to make a sound. Minutes passed, and he couldn't hear anyone, and so he tried to feel around, searching for the door. He was on it, and there was no way of opening it. Despair filled him, and he sank down and fell unconscious. Days later, one of the boys felt too guilty to go on and told his parents. The police were called out to the scene. When they turned the freezer over, DeVries tumbled out looking like a pale and bruised corpse. One of the cops felt for a pulse. His eyes widened when he found a feeble one. A week later, he awoke from a coma. When he was well enough to go back to school, he was still shunned. But when the kids talked about him, he heard the name Roach over and over again. His old despair turned to spit and hate. All right, now we go back to the story. I love the way this really kind of characterizes why DeVries is the way he is. When you don't think anybody in life cares about you or what happens, you gotta think about where was his parent? Where was his mother, his father? Anybody who could care about him, anybody who was watching over him. He was isolated, he was alone, he was bullied, he didn't learn connection skills. And yes, those are a skill. The indication, a well-worn Spider-Man, he probably didn't have a lot of money, and comic books were the one escape he had from the brutality of what he had to live with. So when you start understanding, I'm going to bump this up a bit to right after he gets out of that. In chapter 41, we're going to drop this. We're going to change the chapter. 42 to, instead of the call to meet, to be Devries. The making of Devries. We'll call that chapter 42. Yeah. And we'll make this. Boop. And we'll go ahead and put that's chapter 43, and I'll renumber everything, and then I'll turn us back to the writing. All right. There we go. All right. So good. So happy to make you happy. If my face can make you happy and bring you joy, that is a bonus to me for everything else that goes on. And there we go, Calby. Your work has been rewarded. We now have a better understanding of who that guy is. And the fact that, yes, those comic books inspired him to want to be a hero. He just sucked at it. And that's the truth of the matter, is that we can want to be great, but it's our choices that make greatness. And when we don't have, oh, hey, Mom. And when we don't have the right incentive to make the right choices, or when we're confused about what right choices are, we can end up heading a very wrong direction in our life. Well, hey there, stranger. It's my husband stopping in for a brief moment to get the fair going. All right, so we left Devries trying to struggle out of his resentment and his toxic behavior and his feeling too weak to do anything, to step into something heroic, right? So we'll read through the last chapter that we wrote during the week, and we'll move forward in deciding who we want to tackle next. Chapter 45, Devries on the run. Devries struggled to make it up the embankment into the highway. He didn't know whether to flag down help or take his chances on his own. Blood poured down his leg from the cuts he'd received when he kicked out the window, and his head still felt woozy. The adrenaline from his flight still surged through his veins. The smoke rose on the horizon where the car's engine caught fire. All he wanted was to get away from that car. But something tugged at the corner of his mind. Something pointed him back in its direction. He just wasn't sure what. He thought through his options. In his current condition, he wasn't sure how far he could get on his own. He needed to call for help. He needed support. But he had no cell phone. If Jacobs had one, he glanced back at the car. It hadn't combusted yet. Maybe there was still time to grab Jacob's cell phone. It was a risk, but it was worth it. It might be his only help of making it. The idea of dying wasn't one Devries entertained often. Now it seemed an inevitability unless he managed to get the help he needed, and he wasn't ready to die. He limped back to the car as fast as he could, ignoring the pain in his head and his leg to focus on survival. The 6 feet he'd managed to get from the vehicle felt like a lifetime to cross. But rather than focus on the difficulty, he focused on the mission. One step at a time, Devries, one step at a time. He ignored the flames, ignored the fear, ignored everything except the one thing that mattered, finding Jacob's cell phone. Oop. He managed to reach the driver's side door. Good job, me. Just in time for the flames to start pushing into the cabin. The handle of the door was hot. He took out his shirt and wrapped it around the outside door handle, yanking it open as smoke billowed out of the cabin. Jacobs coughed and sputtered, grabbing hold of Devries. "Tolston, we've got to get her out of here." Devries yanked his hand back, or tried to, but Jacobs' grip was hard to dislodge. "We don't have time for that," he told Jacobs. "We've got to get away from this vehicle. Where's your cell phone?" "Help me get her out of here," Jacobs insisted, stepping out of the vehicle long enough to turn his attention to the passenger side. "She's probably not even alive. Look at her." Devries gestured toward her. She was still slumped over, not moving. Jacobs ignored him and moved toward the smashed glass of the window. DeVries grew impatient. "Where's your cell phone? We need help." Jacobs didn't take his eyes off Tolston. "In the center compartment." DeVries smiled. All he needed was that cell phone, and he could leave these two fools to themselves. But the flames were licking that inside compartment hungrily. He couldn't get in there, couldn't get to it. He felt like screaming in frustration. So close to what he needed. Jacob's voice penetrated his thoughts. "Help me get the car open, DeVries. Come on, man, it's a two-person job." DeVries couldn't bear to let go of the cell phone. He needed it. Needed the help it represented. He couldn't see it if he could just reach it. Jacob's grip on his shoulder distracted him. "Come on, even you can't just leave her there." In an odd way, that statement caught DeVries' attention. This man believed in him. Nobody had ever believed in him. Everyone assumed the worst of DeVries, even DeVries. An image of himself as a hero rose to the surface. That wasn't an image he'd held since he was a kid. Back on the playground when he wanted to stand up for other kids and do something, but he'd been too scared to do it then. Too alone, too weak, and too powerless. DeVries heard in those words a call to become something he'd forgotten he wanted to become. A hero. He joined his strength with Jacobs, tugging at the car and helping to pull Tolston out with him. The three emerged just in time for the flames to reach the back seat and completely engulf the rest of the vehicle. Tolston was heavy, still passed out. He wasn't even sure she was breathing, but it felt good to know that he'd done something heroic, something worthy of a comic book novel. Yes, actually, Kitty, this part is a book. We do the art part on Monday, and then we come in and we do writing on Saturday. So this is the middle of our book. Let's see. We're going to start up today. And we have options and opportunities with where we want to begin. Who do we want to focus on? Now, you cannot give a wrong answer, so don't be afraid to interject your opinion, even if you have no idea what's going on. Okay, so we've got, I guess, technically, two, really. Let's see, we could do detective early man. Or we could even do bonus. Who was driving that truck? Oh, I forgot. Important. We could go back and we could pick up with Delilah. Or we could focus on the dump truck driver. We're actually getting to the point where a lot of these plot points are converging, and that's good because it does mean we're getting closer to the end. All right, so tools. We're at word count. We have crossed the 40,000 words point. We're at 40,592 words. We are just under 10,000 words away from it being a novella-length story. Thank you. All right. We've got 3 votes. 2 out of the 3 want to go back and jump in time to focus on Delilah. You know, it's funny how much screen time we are giving to the bad boys and girls of our story. I find that interesting. All right. 4 votes. We've got, yep, it's a Delilah time. Oh, hey, Pookie. Good to see you. All right, so here we go. Now, when we last left Delilah, she had been grabbed up by two men in black who told her that they were taking her to see her daddy. She hasn't seen her daddy since she was 12, and she was told that he was a CIA operative, but she didn't know if that was true or if that was just mom. That's true. Bad guys are more nuanced. Good guys are straight ahead usually. There's character growth in the development that happens with the good guys. That is true, Cal. But it is equally true that your bad boys and girls tend to have more, I don't want to say relatable, but more deeper histories. Like they've got more stuff, more baggage in their background. Maybe. I don't know. All right. Oh, got to turn up the font size so you guys can read it. Yeah, that's true. I've thought about that though. Is it ever really possible for us to engage in subterfuge and still be good guys? Isn't that kind of picking deception as our savior? That's my question for the day. All right. Yes, things get crooked. For sure. Now, is this really Delilah's daddy? That's a question. Well, I guess more to the point, are they really taking her? Well, I guess the first question, are they really CIA? And are they taking her to her daddy? Let's see. Yes, CIA. No to daddy. Yes, CIA. Yes, daddy. And we got the options of no CIA, no to daddy, or last of all, no CIA, but yes to daddy. Now, those are all interesting options. Let's pick one. Let's see where we go. Well, the Catholic Church teaches you that you cannot do evil that good may come of it, and that the ends do not justify the means. So. Okay, got one vote. And like I said, feel free to vote even if you've got no clue what's going on. You're just trying to... It is a good question, right? Oh, all right. No CIA, yes to daddy. We got 4 votes. 2 of them. Okay, so the majority want no CIA, yes to daddy. Theoretically, she could be Tolston's replacement. After all, she started off with a connection to Tolston. Okay, so if it's not the CIA, who the heck is it? Let's see. Organized crime. Elite Mafia. Oh, you know what? We'll just get it. Organized crime. Who is Daddy? Organized crime. Mafia? Organized crime. Drug trafficking? That would make sense if it started in Colombia. Organized crime. Elite operation. And last but not least, we can give a fan favorite, global crime syndicate, which I guess is technically, you know, kind of like an elite operation, but yeah. We'll give ourselves some options, and we'll see what we're picking. I don't know that those are all that different, but you know, hey. All right. So 4 votes. We've got an elite operation. We can turn this into a comedy depending on what kind of elite operation we're talking about here. An elite operation of guitar smuggling. Here we go. All right. We got Mafia. You know what? We can combine these because a global crime syndicate and an elite operation are essentially the same thing. An elite global crime syndicate is what we'll have. There we go. Okay. Yes, they're the secret ones behind the Chipsons. Actually, here's an even better joke. Would be if they were the ones behind instigating the whole Gibson lawsuits type thing. That's a Guitar World joke. You guys wouldn't get it. It's okay. There we go. Let's do this. Ooh, Pookie, that's a good idea. But we did decide it was a global crime syndicate run by elites. And maybe tied into the mafia and drug trafficking for a bonus. All right. Oh, yes. Yes, I can. All right. So here's the deal. This story started with a set of 4 streamers, one of which was missing. So the other streamers went looking for the missing streamer and ended up uncovering a military operation being run inside of a CI operation that apparently is corrupt, and they're trying to figure out what's going on here. And it might be easier for me to just read a chapter or two. So let me. Delilah is one of the love interests of one of the streamers. Yep. And then DeVries, whom you just met, was part of the CIA, part of the side of the equation, or at least so we were told. And that is what we are working on. So I will pop you a link in the chat so that you can catch up to the story. Yep. Anyone with the link can go ahead and read through it and know exactly where we are. So the 4 streamers, once they figured out where their kidnapped friend was, they rescued him. Then they found out they were part of a bigger operation. This is all happening in that context. The 4 streamers are about to meet with military intelligence to uncover their evidence of the global crime syndicate. And Delilah has just been dragged out of her hotel room. Here, we'll read through that chapter. Chapter 44, Trouble in Nashville. Delilah stared at the phone in her hands. A small trickle of guilt washed over her. I am sorry, Seymour. I know I shouldn't have lied to you like that, but I didn't think you'd send the money otherwise, and I do need it. She wondered if he would send it. Did he have that kind of money? Could he get it if he didn't have it? She was pretty sure he had money given how fast he'd been able to pay for her car repair. But how much money she didn't know. She waited patiently. The people at the hotel had agreed to let her stay for another few days without paying, when she told them she'd lost her father and the bank was waiting on documents for them to transfer her inheritance to her account. She was good at forgery. The bank documents she'd presented them looked so authentic she'd even impressed herself. She almost felt the documents should be framed. They were a true work of art. She didn't like lying to people, but sometimes, she reasoned, you had to do what was necessary to take care of yourself. And if people didn't have it in their heart to do the right thing by you, you had to help them do it, by whatever means necessary. That was what her father taught her. She missed that old man, and sometimes wondered where he was. He'd left when she was 12, just picked up in the middle of the night and vanished. Her mother told her he worked for the CIA. She didn't know if that was true or not, but she liked believing it. It was better than thinking he'd just abandoned her. She stood up and stretched. A knock at the door startled her. She wasn't expecting anyone. She hesitated. Should she answer it? She didn't like surprises like that. Seymour was too far from Nashville to have driven there so quickly. Something in her gut suggested she shouldn't answer. She looked for some place to hide and chose the closet. The shower seemed too obvious. She just stepped inside it and closed the door behind her when the front door burst open. 2 men dressed in black stepped inside and closed the door behind them, blocking her escape. "We know you're here, Delilah. There's no use hiding," an unfamiliar voice said. Delilah didn't move. She didn't make a sound. Her pulse raced like a Kentucky Derby champion. Beads of sweat began to form around her forehead. She hit the speed dial for Seymour, hoping whatever happened he would hear it and know what to do. She'd never been more terrified in her entire life. Nothing happened. The phone didn't ring. The men shut the curtains and entered the bathroom. "Where are you, Delilah? We're going to find you. You can make this easier on yourself and come out. We just want to talk." She spotted a gun one of them was holding through a crack between the closet door and its frame. That didn't seem like an invitation to talk to her. Her lie to Seymour that they were going to kill her seemed like a prophecy now. She wanted to cry. That would only attract attention she didn't want right now. She didn't know what to do. There was nowhere to go, and the room was too small for this search to take long. The larger of the two men flung open the closet door and grabbed her by the arm. "Look what we have here. Time to come out of that closet, Delilah. Daddy wants to talk to you." "What? What do you mean Daddy wants to talk to me?" she stuttered, suddenly confused. "Who are you people?" "Don't talk. Just walk. We're from the CIA," the shorter man explained, "and it's time for you to meet up with your father. He's the one who sent us to get you." Delilah frowned. "Daddy sent you? What's my daddy's real name?" Neither man answered. They just kept dragging her forward. When she started to resist, one of them tapped her side with his gun. "Give us trouble and you'll be meeting your father on the other side of this life. Understood?" She had no doubt he meant it. She shut her mouth and stopped resisting. They hadn't shot her yet. That at least bought her some time to figure her way out of the situation. All right, so that's where we left off with Delilah. All right. But that was preventing her from being able to see out at all. Yes, time for a supervillain. Well, I am. Thank you. I thank you for the compliment. But the magic of the stream isn't really me. I'm part of it, but it's you guys. Your input, your decisions that are driving the plot, your decisions about where we focus our attention and when. That is what makes the magic. Well, that is my job is to keep it on the rails, so to speak. Yes, I imagine. Oh, kitty cat, you have plenty of ideas. Trust me, you have plenty of ideas. You may not have practiced letting your ideas come out of your head and drop onto the page, but you'll get there. Just keep hanging around. You can't help it. You've been telling yourself stories about life from the moment of your conception. Storytelling's built into you. You've got it. Yeah. Well, right now she's in the back seat all by herself, and all she's got are her thoughts. Oh, she's not talking. And they can't read minds yet. So she's plotting, she's planning, she's in the back seat, she's got it on autopilot. All right. You still have 15 minutes, so it is time for the next chapter to begin. Now let's go back in here. We decided that this is some kind of elite operation of organized crime, a global crime syndicate, global elite crime syndicate. A gecko. Oh. Which is only a little bit off from Geico. Oh, you're posting it on YouTube and it's kind of animated? Nice. That's awesome. I'll have to check that out, kitty cat. All right. Okay. Yep. Cal B does stop motion on his channel. Let's see. All right, so we leave that with a question. Now, oh my goodness. Yeah, it is. If you need help with that, Cal, you know that I'm more than happy to help you. Who do we focus on for the next chapter? We've got the options of Delilah, Devries, the streamers, or we can throw in the wild card, the dump truck driver. No worries. Yeah, it is a lot to take in, isn't it? Oh my gosh, we got a three-way split so far. I think I will be the tiebreaker because I think Kitty Cat has stepped away. All right. Let's go and see what we can put in. I have an idea. Oh, okay. You vote Delilah. Well, then that's two for Delilah. All right, so we'll keep going with her then. Okay, no worries. All right. That's okay, because in 8 minutes is when we end. I have no idea how many chapters there are going to be. We are working through the story as we go. It could be a lot. It could be, we could wrap up in, I wouldn't say that we would wrap up in less than 10,000 words. Because, well, we're close to 50,000. So that would be the bare minimum threshold. We've got 171 pages we've written. So we probably got a few more, quite a few more. Oh, awesome. That's okay. If you can't, that's fine. We're always here. We're always welcoming. And if I can't be here, I'll be putting a community note that'll let you know. So just check my YouTube channel for any community postings if you can't find the link. Oh, no worries, kitty cat. Ah, okay. Yes, Inspector Remorseless. Okay. All right. See you later, Mom. All right, that is wow, we are at 3:20. I did not expect to be going that long, but this has been a really good session. We've got a lot done. We actually extended it by to 42,358 words, and we've got a lot going on here. I'm going to stop the stream for today. Thank you guys for joining me. We will pick up next week.